Whoa.
What up, guys? You know what it is. Shady Sports Fantasy Reports, Week 13. Coming at you. It's your boy 303 Jim holding it down. Thanks for watching Shady Sports Network. We got our pro in the house, Shawnee. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to him.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Shady Sports Network Fantasy Plug. Week 13, man. We're at crunch time. If you're trying to make that playoff leap, we're here to try and help you get there because we're trying to do the same thing. You know, me and 303 over here. What up, gang?
What up, Wayne?
Robinson? Yeah, me and Jim were tied for first place in the East, and the West, they got 3 tied for first, and they're all going. So it's looking like a battle between him and I for the last spot. So we got a lot to talk about. A lot of injuries that are hurting us. A couple of buys, some major for some people, not so much for others. With that
Hold
said,
on. I mean, before you keep going, man, I mean, you mentioned it. You might as well tell them, too. In the other league, we're right up there, too.
yeah,
It's not
second
like,
and third. Yeah, you got second, I got third. There's 2 other guys in this league, though, Jay Shady and Al Bell, who started out like Shotty's gone down now because I've beaten him, and he's in 4th, but he's got the same record as me at 7-5, and I'm 7-5 in the other league as well. But you got what? You're 8-3.
I'm 8-6.
No, you can't be 8-6.
Hold on. They're not 8-6, 8-4.
Yeah, you're 8-4 in second. So we're looking good over there, and I've been scoring well in there. And even though it's a deep league, I feel good about my roster. Now I know that other people are hurting on injuries. Still, so much, injuries going on for wide receivers and for running backs, especially. It's harsh, man. And that being said, I mean, we can get started right now on injuries going into this week. It looks like that Gibson is questionable for Washington. And if that's going to be the case, you guys, whoever owns Brian Robinson Jr. in this situation, you're going to capitalize. Because Robinson was already kind of getting the snap share. But now with Gibson out, it's like Patterson, I think, behind him. And I think they activated somebody from the practice squad, but I doubt they'll see touches. That's more of a just in case somebody gets hurt. So if Gibson's out for the Commanders, look for a big boost on B-Rob Jr. He's already getting the snap share, so, I mean, his ceiling is what you're going to look at there. So Brian Robinson gets mad upside for Washington. And then Fournette is still questionable, now marked as doubtful for Tampa Bay this week. So if that being said, Rachaad White is again a clear RB2 flex all day. And you'd be happy to give him a start knowing that he's going to get starting touches. That's a good thing. No Stafford this week. That once again, this Rams offense is already so bad. I can't say that having this backup is going to be a bad thing. Who knows? He might go in there and move that ball around, and you might see Van Jefferson get an edge on targets and actually have a good game.
I mean, the element of surprise.
Yeah, Wolford is coming in, and who knows? And Kyron Williams, I mean, he's getting running back 1 touches, and he's averaging good, yards per carry, and he has upside in the red zone as well. So, Kyron Williams looks good, but the Rams offense is just horrible. If you have better options, you're probably looking there, but he's definitely a viable starter. And I know that a lot of people are banking on this one, especially my matchup this week. Mike has Justin Fields. And Fields, he says they say that he's on track to start this week. So if he gets back to it, you can expect him against that Green Bay secondary and that Green Bay defense to, pick up where he left off. And that sucks for me, but good for all of you who's got him. Fields with the ceiling in the 40s. and the floor is just it's ridiculous too. We're not watching him getting less than 20 points. That's the guy you want in that spot. So this close to playoff contention, that's who you want in your starting spot. So look for him to start this week, hopefully. Um, and then we got Lions wide receiver Williams is debuting this week as a starter. That's something to look at as far as the eye test goes. And then another one on the eye test is Mostert. It might be coming back to Miami, and we can
Mm.
see if he has a role in this offense, and see if he can be viable for the next couple weeks coming and help us in the playoffs, and possibly towards a championship. Yeah, it would be very nice because he's sitting on my bench right now. And then another eye test this week that I got. We got Deshaun Watson coming back
Hmm.
this week for sure as a starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. I mean, this is a job he was paid a lot of money to do, and they've been waiting to fire him up. His suspension is finally over, so the eye test is what's going to be. I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to have any trouble coming in against Houston and getting it going. If there was any defense that I'd want to start as just coming back week 13, it would be them or the Lions. I would
Hmm.
have to say.
Or the
Um,
Broncos.
well, yeah, the Broncos still have a really good defense, man. They really, really do.
I joke. I joke.
But it is what it is. The only thing is their offense is struggling. You
Mm,
know,
struggling. Yeah,
well, yeah. I mean,
that's
dude, you know
that's
what's
what you
crazy?
call it.
All right, so up until week 11, the only thing Denver had to do to win their first 11 games was score 18 points in each one of their games, and they would have won
Hmm.
their first 11 games.
Hmm. Had you said that last year, everybody would have bet on the Broncos to win the Super Bowl.
And this is absolute insanity to think that Russell Wilson, with the likes of Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, Jerry Judy, Kendall Hinton, Javante Williams, Melvin Gordon,
All those guys are hurt or gone.
and now it's just like this whole shit is in such shambles, and you can't do anything but sit there and feel sorry and know that Nathaniel Hackett will not be back next year. I don't think they're going to embarrass themselves by closing out the season by getting rid of him. They're probably going to let him finish this losing season and wish him the best of luck and hope the door doesn't hit him where the good Lord split him on the way out.
I think yeah, we'll see. I hope they do, but
They're
I think
going to. There's no way.
they need to get rid of them now so other teams know what's up.
They
Coaches can
okay.
look
So
good.
last week the big deal was I'm relinquishing play calling abilities. They scored 3 points up until the fourth quarter, dude, and that was with somebody else on the playbook. Like
Yeah.
it's a whole mess of problems, and it goes from the booth all the way down to the sideline.
Now
And
let me ask you this though.
what?
Speaking on the Broncos, with like Njoku out, right?
Yeah.
Do you think Dulcich is a good pickup?
Yes, I do. And you know why? Is because when quarterbacks are in doubt, who do they throw to?
Tight
They're
end.
tight ends. And he gets the end zone looks, and he's been the one spark
The one
of
bright spot.
of holy shit, man. Not only does this man catch the ball, but he's getting 10 to 15 yards after catch, and that's after contact. And you can tell it's just because the man is so stoked to be on the field doing his job in the NFL that it doesn't matter. He could play for the worst team in the NFL, and he would still be out there smiling, getting these catches. And he is. He's a spark, that's confidence. That's what a team in this situation needs. So, yeah,
Hmm.
100% for me. Dulcich is a starter every week over Knox, over Schultz, and I mean, I like Njoku. But
Really?
yeah, I mean, geez, that's just what they've been doing. I mean, look, you got Pitts out, you got Waller out. Who's covering for them? And Moreau, that guy he had a decent game in Atlanta last week. I forget his name though. 88. He was actually getting targets. It was nice to see, but still not fantasy relevant. But
Hmm.
Dulcich is one of those guys that you put your faith in, and yeah, it may be more boom or bust, but I expect more of a boom from this guy. I like his energy. And a lot of that for me is, a lot of fantasy football for me is the gut and how you feel and what you've seen, and everything I've seen, and my gut says start Dulcich.
Yeah.
And I
I
learned it the hard way. I let Knox stay in my lineup this past week, and he got me a zero. He got me a goose egg on Thursday Night Football.
mm-hmm.
Now if I had Dulcich sitting in there, I'd know that coming up, I at least have a chance for comeback points. I'm out of that situation now.
Speaking of that, I feel like I got knocked somewhere.
Yeah. Well,
Nah.
look, okay. Another thing I want to talk about while Jem looks is with Carter out for the Jets, you got Zonovan Knight coming back in to take the starting snaps for the Jets. And not only that, you got Mike Davis coming in to start again. So for this, it gives the entire Jets offense upside for me. I'm talking Garrett Wilson. I'm talking Corey Davis, even the likes of Elijah Monroe, Elijah Moore. Even though he only had 2 targets last week, I still think that this Jets offense, after seeing him throw over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and what Zonovan Knight, he had what 83 scrimmage yards, a couple catches, and a touchdown. I mean, the boy's coming out and he's just like, I mean, Robinson has expressed how pissed he is, and the coaches have said that Robinson will have a little more of a role. So I mean, he probably will be cutting into Knight's snap count a little bit. But the way that boy did coming into that game, and the way Mike White did, oh, for the love of God, man, the Jets, the eye test is going to tell. And, this is a good time to get something like that going because their defense is good. The only place they were kind of struggling was on offense, looking to them for questions. So Mike White might be the great white hope for that offense. So everyone in that offense gets upside for me this week, especially in deep leagues. Don't look over them to have another good game. Let's see. Mike Williams still out again for the second week in a row with that ankle injury. That'll hurt Chargers.
Okay, thank you.
ATN, he's good to go. So the Great White Hope. Yeah. And it's looking like Rogers is going to come back for the pack, Rogers and that. I mean, there's a whole bunch between the thumb and then the ribs and all that. And then Najee was looking the same way. And Warren was actually questionable as well. So, or Snell was actually questionable as well. So, it was Warren who came in and Anderson, and they had, oh my God, they had a good rushing week. The Steelers did, even after Najee went out. But it's looking like Najee and Snell will be back. So we'll return to the normal Steelers backfield, and we all know what to expect from them. 50-50 touches. Najee gets upside because he's a dual threat back, and he likes to catch passes in the end zone. So you'll hope for that. Mostly touchdown dependent, but it's hard to have Najee Harris in your lineup and not start him. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. That is true.
And then I'm anxious to see this week. Josh Jacobs, last week, unbelievable. 300 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, had an 83-yard touchdown winning, or 83-yard winning touchdown in overtime, all with an injury.
Mm-hmm.
And he convinced them to let him go back in, and thank goodness they did, because that gave Vegas the win. And it gave whoever started him that week 40 freaking fantasy 48 fantasy points.
Oh yeah, I lost. I lost
week.
to that guy.
Yeah, Reagan had. I mean, dude, Reagan has him and Mixon and Higgins and Burrow. She's the number 1 seed going in our league. I think
Yeah.
she has the highest percentage.
It's like a toss up between her and Mike.
Mike S, not Mike C.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, look to Jacobs to come back off that injury and start again this week, and obviously line up lock there.
Actually, Aaron has more points than everybody. He has 1572.
But that I don't think when we get this close to playoffs, I think you have to look at points allowed. If he's allowed more points than Reagan has allowed more, then I think she gets the upside in the seed.
Yeah, she's allowed the lowest in points.
Yep, that's why.
That's crazy.
There we go.
Teams just falter against her, I guess.
Yep, and then Jamar Chase is questionable, it says. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know if he's been fired up off IR. But, I mean, obviously, if we're getting closer to getting him back, that's going to be helpful to anybody who has him in their lineups because once come playoff time, who's the top four guys you're going to want in the wide receiver spot? Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devontae Adams. It's those guys who you're going to want come playoff time, come
What do you think
championship.
about like Mike Evans? Because he kind of
Godwin has had the upside over the past couple weeks. And I don't know, man. Evans seems frustrated. He seems frustrated to me. But dude, it's so Mike Evans, dude. Big body receiver, fully capable of burning any coverage there is.
I
And
don't know.
he gets end zone looks. So it's Mike Evans, dude.
I don't
If
know.
I
I'm
have Mike
torn.
Evans, I'm starting him. I that's all I'm gonna say.
Would you start him over Thielen?
Yeah.
Would you start him over Ayuk?
Yeah.
Would you start him over Palmer? Palmer went off last week.
Well, no, with Williams out, no.
I think Williams is going to be back.
No, Williams isn't back. He's out again this week.
I'm done with Williams.
Yeah, he's out for the second week in a row with ankle injury.
I just dropped Michael Thomas from my team finally.
He's going to be on IR the rest of the season. He ain't helping. That's like having Kyle Pitts or Javonte Williams still on your IR spot. It's silly to waste it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Ayuk is outside of my top 20, and it's not because he doesn't have upside. He does, but he only had 2 targets last week for 20 yards, but the only difference was they were for touchdowns, both of them. But that's the only looks he got.
Yeah.
You're making roster moves in the middle of our show, bro.
Yeah.
I just got a notification that you're making roster moves in the middle of our show.
I just dropped Ertz.
My ball sack hurts.
I got like 5 tight ends. No, I got like 3.
See, I got 7 running backs in our ESPN league.
I got like 7 receivers.
I got 7 of 8. All right, now here's another thing I want to talk about this week, guys, and this is what's really been bothering me. And Jem, you can feel free to butt in here. I am in a situation right now where I went heavy on running backs and I'm low on wide receivers. Right now, I have Darius Slayton as my wide receiver too. I got DJ Moore on my bench with the bye this week. Carolina and Arizona are on buys this week. I just want to throw that out there as well. So, make plans accordingly for those guys. But, man, I don't. So, right now on the waiver wire sits Mo Hollis, from
Vegas?
Yeah, Van Jefferson and Nico Collins. And, dude, literally, I look down the waiver wire, and the only player that I can think that I have any confidence in any type of boomer bust or ceiling situation is Tyler Boyd. And he's all the way down at 8.6 projected. I'm screwed right now at wide receiver too, and there is not one receiver that I trust in that waiver wire section to score more than single-digit numbers, except Tyler Boyd, because I've seen his ceiling. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, if everybody else is having this problem too, then we got to do some talking here. Because, you were just talking about, would you start Mike Evans over Thielen and over Ayuk?
Yeah.
I wish I had the likes of Ayuk or Thielen on my bench right now, because that decision would be made for me. I'd have a wide receiver too. But if you're in this situation, Sam just asked me on the feed before this, would you do DeMarcus Robinson or no, Duvernay, Van Jefferson, or Hollins? And I said I couldn't decide because I'm in the same predicament. I thought Darius Slayton was going to go off for me last week, and he had a decent game, but it was still just below 10 points. We're coming in a playoff time, guys, where single digits don't help you. You got to be scoring 20 plus and bring your best guys to the table. Now, I'm a bit concerned, and I'm sitting here being the one asking questions when I should be answering them. But the thing is if we're all in this situation, helping each other out is what we got to do.
But I feel like we're not all in this situation, though, because there's still teams out there with 2 solid, number 1 picks. Just the majority, I feel like the majority of people are in that situation for sure. That's what happens this time of the year. The teams get thinned out, and you see which teams are really like put together and stuff.
And then here I've grabbed every good wide or running back off the wire, and I'm sitting there with 7 with no receivers, and I've hurt myself as a result. You know?
Yeah, I feel like in that situation though, you just kind of gotta make sure your flex is strong and like
I
try to
got
maybe
Paul. I
even
kept Pollard in there over
yeah.
Jamal Williams and Raheem Mostert. I hope. I mean, Pollard is ranked way ahead of Zeke this week, even though after what happened last week. So, um, dude, you know Pollard has that potential to just be like 3 touchdowns, 115 all-purpose yards, 5 catches for, so like, I mean, when it has that kind of upside, it's hard for me not to lock that in.
Yeah.
Because when I'm looking at Mostert, who's coming off of injuries and nothing impressive beforehand, and then you're looking at Jamal Williams, who's getting the favorable over touches over Swift, but even after scoring 1 touchdown last week, still only had 8 fantasy points. He has 5 games with 2+ touchdowns, and those are the games he's valuable in, but that's 5 out of 15 games so far.
Yeah.
So I had to make the valuable decision, and that's going with the guy who I've seen score 30+ points 3 weeks, and just hoping for the best there. So, but yeah. So that's where it's at. Another upside for me this week. If you guys are looking for somebody for the quarterback position who has been really, really looking good lately, and I think will continue to do good things, is Lawrence.
Trevor
Trevor
Lawrence.
Lawrence is looking
Yeah.
good, man.
That's why I
And he's
grabbed
in the
him.
top 10 of quarterbacks this week. You can go ahead and fire him up with confidence this week for sure.
Yeah, I did. I took out Derek Carr, who I don't know. He's been
The running game
up
is
and
where they're going
down.
to, yeah, the running game is going to be where they get it done over in Vegas anyway. So, you could probably sit Carr, especially against that Chargers D. It's a divisional game. Herbert is going to be doing his
Aired it
thing.
out.
Yep.
So Carr's
Yes.
gonna have to air it out. Especially if
And,
Jacobs is hurt.
well, he is, but it's just still questionable. I mean, he was hurt last game, and ran for over 300 yards.
That's how they win, huh? They just tell people he's hurt and then
Right?
he
Like,
comes out 100%.
there you go. Over
I
the
thought he was
tackle.
hurt.
Yeah, Jackson and the Ravens have tremendous upside this week against Denver, guys. Top 5 starter this week. Look for everybody in that offense to have a little bit of
Pick
upside.
up Denver defense. I'm calling it now. Pat Surtain's gonna have 2 interceptions.
If anybody could do it, it's him. I love Pat.
He hasn't gotten an interception all season. He's about to get 2 on Lamar. I'm calling it right now.
Don't jinx me like that, bruh. It's my starter and sleeper.
I need you to go down, bro. I need everybody to go down.
What do you think? How do you think Miami's going to fare against that San Francisco defense, Jeff?
It's gonna be fun. I am gonna try to watch this game for sure because what is it? An unstoppable object meets an unmovable force. It's literally that. Like Miami has this high-powered, high-octane offense, and San Francisco has this really solid defense.
Fast moving,
that
playmaking. Yeah,
they haven't had a team scoring them in the second half in the past 3 games.
it's crazy.
So in Miami, I feel like Tua hasn't played past the second half in the past, at least the last game. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see what they do. I feel like the difference makers though is like Miami has a running game.
Right, and if Mostert comes back in, and you got
but San Francisco has their trick play, so it'll be fun to see who gets to play their game. I feel like Miami will probably just try to slow it down and keep it simple. Not try to do too much because man,
that's the game of the week for me.
It just takes one good hit, and that's Miami's season.
Oh yeah.
So, this is the team that could put that hit on them.
For sure.
Hopefully not.
I want to see most this week, for sure. And I want to continue to watch the Jets to see if Mike White keeps it going. I really do.
It'll be interesting to see what they do. I don't think they're going to go far in the playoffs, unfortunately.
Well, dude, because everybody in that freaking division is like Goliath right now. They're all battling for that spot. The Jets have beaten the Bills, and the Pats are even. Oh, actually,
the Pats
they're 500
Jets.
The Pats are 6-6, so they're 4th place in that division now at 500. Dude,
Yeah.
compared to these other divisions, to have your fourth place team at 500 for last place is saying something.
Well, look at the NFC East. You know,
Yeah,
they
true
went
that.
from worst to first. All of their teams are in the playoffs right now over
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, that says a lot too. But does it say a lot though? Does it say a lot about them or less about the division? More about the divisions.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
the
Yeah, I
NFC,
mean, dude,
AFC as a
look at the
whole.
conversation we were having about the AFC West. We were like, thinking about Denver at first, Chiefs second, Chargers third, Vegas fourth, and them having like this big baller, badass division where it's been like, the Chiefs are the only team that's, looking like anything again,
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Next season though, we'll see.
I love my division. I love the AFC North because it's always a battle and every team is a rivalry, but every time they play each other, no matter how the other team is doing, it's always a good game. The Steelers were doing horrible, and then all of a sudden they go back to Cincy, and then it's a good game, and it goes into overtime, and they lose by 3. They weren't even scoring like 2 touchdowns a game, and then all of a sudden the finals 33-30.
Right.
Between the Steelers and the same thing happens with the Browns. The same thing happens with the Ravens. These are always fun games to watch. That's why I've been. I love being a Steelers fan and a part of the AFC North because it's such a slobber knocker. You know, um, Big rival division where every time they play each other, it's a ball game, and it's either interesting because it's great football or because they talk shit and beat the hell out of each other the whole time.
Yeah, man. They do have some good games up there in the AFC North. And I mean they're all like surprisingly like sneaky good.
Uh huh. Oh
All
yeah.
kind of right there battling for, those last few spots.
Well, yeah, and that right now, I mean, geez, uh, you know, it sucks, but it's also good when you can tell yourself that your team is in a situation where that they're on the verge of rebuilding and you deal with the fact that it's going to be a losing season and you just have to stay confident in the fact that they know that they're going to do what they have to do to rebuild and get back to a number one team.
Yeah.
And you're in that situation with Denver. I'm in that situation with
Yeah, but
Pittsburgh.
it's different in Denver because we weren't expecting it. We thought we were already rebuilt, you
Right,
know.
right, and that's the truth. That's the truth. So yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, now that they spent that money on Trubisky and they said he was it, but now that you know Pickett has come in, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh well, he's the guy, but it's like that wasn't the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say for sure, but we just know, there's better days ahead. That's all I'm saying is that you got to hope and stay confident that better days are ahead, and just pray for good fantasy numbers.
So what receivers do you see going off this week?
Um, I really think that the one receiver that's going to do it against Sam Fran is going to be Waddle. I think this is going to be a big week for Jalen Waddle. I think that they're going to be looking to throw a little extra sauce on Hill. And I think that, they try to get that run game going. It doesn't work against that San Francisco defense. I think Jalen Waddle is going to have a breakout game. I think he's going to have the upside this week. I really do. And also, I think that this is going to be one of those weeks. Something's telling me, but the way that I'm seeing action on the wire, and he's not a wide receiver, he's a tight end, but I think that New Orleans against Tampa Bay is going to pull some trick shit. And they're going to use a lot of Taysom Hill trickery this week.
Mm.
And Olave is going to be a part of that. So I think Olave has a lot of potential this week, and I always look for him to do well. So Olave, Waddle, um, and I don't know what it is in my gut that's telling me that Tyler Boyd is going to have a good game, and I don't know. Like I said, he could be boom or bust. If Chase is still out, and Higgins, they got, they're playing Kansas City, and it's not the best defensive secondary, but they're decent. So I think that Boyd might have one of those games this week. And like I was saying, um, wide receiver wise this week, on the waiver wire, is just so unappealing to me. It is just. It's boom or bust, or I just know that they only get those two targets and they're only going to be single digit relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I see Keenan Allen having a good week this week. If I don't know, Palmer's been having the best weeks for them as of late, and Allen just came back this last week, and so he's just kind of trying to integrate again. But I think this week, with that matchup against Vegas, I just think that Herbert's going to throw all over the place, and I think Allen is going to get back to roster relevant.
Okay.
So I think Allen will be a good wide receiver too, and Palmer will still sit firmly as a flex for sure.
Yeah, yeah. What about who is it? DeAndre Carter.
Carter, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I could see. I mean, yeah, him and Christian Watson are two guys on the kind of same caliber that I'd like to see, do well and continue. So yeah, and then not only that, I talked about him earlier, but the Jets receivers, you know, um, Garrett Wilson,
Mm-hmm.
he's top 20 for me this week, lineup block for sure. Corey Davis, I'm not sure about, and dude, Elijah Moore is just like he's that guy that everyone's been like he's going to be the guy. Look out, he needs to get more targets, and he does. He only got two last week, but I think Elijah Moore this week with Mike White in this situation, I think we're going to see something special from him this week if he can get
Okay.
his target share up. So yeah, and yeah, Christian Watson, like I said for the pack. I mean, geez, dude, for this guy to come out of nowhere with 3 touchdowns in a game, 2 touchdowns in a game, and then another touchdown. I mean, this guy has gone 3 weeks straight with touchdown, 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 touchdown. And, it was Rogers. He was, talking about an interview. He's like, the one thing that a lot of people don't remember is in the Packers' first game of the season this season, Rodgers threw a bomb to Christian Watson that was a 100% like 65-yard touchdown pass. And it was perfectly thrown and it went right through the hands of Christian Watson. And then no one gave him a look again. So Rodgers right now in an interview, he's like, right now we're, 12, 13, 11, 12, 13 weeks into the season, and the things that we were expecting to happen since week one are just now starting to happen for us. So, that means that he's found the chemistry that he likes in Watson and he looks to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
He is a very fickle quarterback and he likes to stick with the guys that he knows. And right now, that's Christian Watson. So ride the hot hand and keep him in starting lineups.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. All you guys out there showing the love. Joining us here on Shady Sports Network. This is Shady Sports Fantasy Reports plug with the pro Shawnee and myself, 303 Jim. So what about running backs?
All right, running backs this week. um, One person I want to talk about who's been kind of down over the last couple of weeks is Dameon Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
This week, I really think that this Cleveland defense they allow some run game to happen, and I think Dameon Pierce has been a little bit off the radar. He's been a little bit down on his work. I think that Dameon Pierce has a lot of upside this week, and I think he's going to come out of his shell again. And I think he's really going to put it to Cleveland. So Dameon Pierce is definitely a lineup block and a guy that I think has tremendous upside this week.
Okay.
And that is for sure. In any event, if you are looking at Najee having to sit this week, that gives Warren and Snell and if Snell continues to sit, or then yeah, if Snell continues to sit too. Last or no, it was Warren. If Warren continues to sit, then that Snell McFarland duo that we saw last week, if those guys come out again, those are two guys I think have tremendous upside this week as well. But That all depends on the questionables. You got to keep an eye out, see if Najee's going to get the start. If not, you're going to want to look at that backup. And then I talked about him earlier, touched on him earlier, had a breakout rookie day for his first week out there. Again, James Robinson was a healthy scratch, and he's pissed as hell about it. Made it well known in an interview, quoted, "I came to this team to do something. I didn't take a trade to sit here and be inactive when I'm healthy. I'm going to want to come out and do something for the team." But that Zonovan Knight, to have almost a 100-yard game in his first game as a starter and a touchdown, I mean, like, how you not going to look at that guy as, I want to see what he can continue to do.
Right.
So, Zonovan Knight for sure.
Hey, shout out to Michael C.
What up, Mike?
Thanks for
You're
watching, bro.
you're a great tidbit.
Are y'all playing this week?
Yeah.
Are you playing him?
Yeah, we are ESPN locked up.
Man, you gotta knock him down.
I got Ramadre.
That's a hard one. I want him to get knocked down, but I also want you to lose.
Yeah, you need me to lose. You don't want me to lose. If you want that money, you need me to lose. He needs us to lose too.
Mm-hmm.
He's that one guy who's teeter-tottering in the West still.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's smart, man. If there's one guy who, like, I know he sits there and he gets those notification on who's out and he goes to the wire. And only a couple times have I beat him. But, whenever I play him, like the last time I played him, he knew I had Lamar Jackson on a bye, and he went and grabbed Geno Smith up off the wire before I could, and then dumped him back on so he couldn't be picked up till the following week. I ended up having to suffer with Jimmy G, and Jimmy G scored 15 points, and Geno had 19, and I lost to him by 2 points. So he knew what he was doing. He knows what's up, but at the same time, I mean, him and we talk the best smack, dude. And he, how much he loves this as much as we do. And I mean, you guys, I know how everybody feels about fantasy if you play in leagues like this. And our league is just so hands-on, and we have a Facebook chat dedicated with everybody in our league in it. And it is just, I mean, there's daily, hourly, and game day conversations that just go on and talk shit, and that friendly smack talk and that hater. It's like this league is going on 3 seasons, and I can see it going forever, man. Because we just love it so much, what we do, and have so much fun. And I wouldn't have it any other way. This is hands down my favorite leagues. So
yeah, man, I'll have to get you into me and Sam's league next season.
Yeah,
I think ours has been going on for like 5 or 6 years now.
League. That Shady Sports League, man. I'm
trying. Yeah, we'll have next season. We're gonna get the Shady Sports League going.
Yeah,
you guys heard it here.
We gotta make a dynasty league because that's some dynasty shit right there.
Well, that's what yeah. We'll have to figure out what we're gonna do it on, whether it's ESPN or Yahoo or Sleeper.
ESPN or Sleeper. Those are the only apps that matter.
Yeah, so I mean, y'all reach out to us, tell us if you want to be in our Shady Sports Network Fantasy League next season. That way we get it figured out, get it, ready.
Yeah, and guys, everybody out there too, let us know what your favorite platform is.
Yeah,
if you could chime in and let us know if you have a favorite platform and for what reason. I'll greatly appreciate that because, a lot of people are preferring Sleeper nowadays, but I like the old school ESPN ways. I like their commentators. I like ESPN Plus. I like, just their system weekly. They actually have weekly rankings, and they actually take their time several days a week to rank players and help you with the waiver like we do on this podcast. And, their projections are usually pretty accurate, and they have good information. They're directly tied in with Shefty, who's, the injury analysis for the NFL, and, Lisa Salters and Stefania Bell, who's an injury expert for them. I just love everything they do over there, and that's why ESPN's my favorite. But I have gotten to like Sleeper.
Sleeper's good. I like Sleeper's actually been faster than all the other
Yeah,
apps
but
for
their
sure.
point system's different than ESPN also, which is something that it's not that I don't like it, it just took getting used to.
Well, you can go in and adjust the point system.
Yeah,
That's
I know. I
something.
know you can change and do all that crazy stuff too, but I guess I'm just like one of those guys who's stuck in his ways, you know? Like
Get off my lawn.
I've won so much in ESPN that it's like,
Not this year, bro.
well,
Shut that down.
we'll have to see, won't we? I don't
Well,
know, man.
man.
Reagan is like every time I look at that roster every week, and every time I see what that girl's doing, it's like, should I have asked her to join this league? Shit.
It's your fault.
She's crushing, dude. And it's like a Cincinnati Bengals roster.
I love it. I'm anxious to already see what next season's gonna bring.
I know, me too. Me too, for sure.
Yeah. Well, shoot, man. You got any other good tips for us? Any other good
I think that this
updates?
week is pretty wrapped, man. You know, get those lineups locked, guys. Go with your gut. You're coming close to playoff time. I hope you have those people picked and you're not sitting there hankering on the waiver like I am. Any questions that you have for Jem or myself, guys, Shawnee Monahan on Facebook, reach out to my DMs. I actually got a couple questions to my Facebook Messenger from
Oh,
a couple
nice.
of fans over the last week, and it was awesome to see. And I continue to chat with them, Brian, Roger, both of you guys. So thank you very much. Please continue to do so, guys. On behalf of Shady Sports Network and everybody over here, Sam, Jim, all you guys, man, we really appreciate everything that you guys do. Every like, every subscribe that we get, we're grateful for. Guys, we got a lot of merch coming out very soon. Hoodies, hats, beanies, t-shirts. It's all coming that way, guys. And by the time we're pretty close to our 500 subscriber, and when we do, you're going to be entered in a drawing for $150 worth of sports memorabilia, which is awesome, dude. We got really cool stuff. And, you know, we don't just cover NFL, we cover XFL, CFL. And Sam and everybody does a really good job over here of staying
Mm-hmm.
on top of our stuff. And please go follow our Facebook page and click on the links, check out the videos, check out the interviews. A lot of passion, caring, and hard work goes into what we do over here, and we wouldn't do it if it weren't for you guys. So I'm Sean Monahan on behalf of Shady Sports Network. Week 13, making that playoff push. Everybody, good luck this week, and remember, next week is by Mageddon. So we're gonna get into it with an early show on Wednesday, Gemini, and we'll go over what we got to cover. But get through this week and remember that next week is by Mageddon. I think six teams are on a bye, and a
Oh,
lot of
man.
them are going to make an impact on your roster. So big weeks coming up, making the playoff push. Thanks again for your time. I'm Shawnee Monahan. I'll pass it over to Jem for the sign off.
Yeah, guys, and I'm 303 Gem Cedric Green, aka you can find me at said sells homes. Send me questions. I'd love to shoot them right over to Shawnee. Now I'll put in the
Do it.
work. I'll get back to you. Like you said, we cover a bunch of other things. Still looking to jump on the NBA train. So if you're wanting to talk NBA, hit me up. Let's get it going. Let's keep this going. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the love. And again, hit us up. Let us know what your best platform is or your favorite platform for fantasy sports. You know, let us know where you're at in your league. You know, whether you're pushing for the playoffs or you're looking forward to next season, whatever it may be. It's all fun. You know, we all do it because we love the game. We love the stats. So again, like Shawnee said, thanks for watching. Check out shadysportsnetwork.com. And we'll be coming back again next week with some fantasy tips. Have a great one, guys.
Peace.